Robert Heffernan with Endotech exclusively for the Pareto Network. This is Blockchain Vitals. It's our daily show talking cryptocurrencies, blockchain assets, things that are melting down. And that's all I'm a master endotechnician, firmly in the matrix when trading cryptos. I also dabble in the fiat world. The years that I have spent trading commodities have really served me well in cryptos. As one of the basic tenets of commodity trading is that you are so leveraged that if you marry an opinion, you will pretty much be selling insurance or flipping burgers or doing something other than trading commodities. You have to take losses in a leveraged environment. And that's how you survive, and that's how you become successful, is understanding when you're wrong and getting out. And if anything has taught me, because I read the tweets and people giving up on this asset class when they had no right trading it as a trader. If they had put money in as an investor, like a very small amount of money that if it went to zero, it didn't matter, maybe they'd still be around. But even that methodology, I think, is incredibly flawed. Why would you ever just take on something and figure that it most likely is going to go to zero, or it could go to zero, or I don't even know, but I'm willing to risk the money? I don't know. I think it's, you would never bet on the Chicago Bulls to win the NBA championship this year. You would never do that. They stink. And I don't know. I think there's parallels between sports psychology and betting and very young asset classes like these. Anyway, let's do the rounds and let's talk about a few things that I've noticed here today. Doing the rounds, it's my chance to talk about things that I see in the headline that have piqued my interest. And by the way, please follow us on Twitter. We are social on Twitter at Endotech_IO and at HFR from the floor. That is moi. And I will answer any question you fire at me on Twitter. Believe me, I would love to. So a couple of things that jumped out at me today. First of all, a report that Microsoft and IBM, well ahead of the rest of the pack in blockchain technology and their companies and offerings of infrastructure. And I quote, and this is from CN, and a press release from ABI Research, as that talking of both Microsoft and IBM. Each vendor was analyzed on innovation metrics such as market penetration, proof of concepts and pilots, and ecosystem support, and implementation metrics such as platform diversity, primary features, developer resources, and integrations with their own solutions. Another thing why I believe the blockchain is not going away, you have two of the most powerful technology companies on the planet fully invested and involved in building out blockchain technologies, infrastructures, developer resources, platform diversity, features, all right, with integrations with their own solutions so people can interact with the blockchain technology in ways that we probably can't even think of right now. So this is going to unfold and evolve. And just because the prices are getting demolished doesn't mean that long term there isn't going to be a place that's going to be an incredible buy opportunity. And I will let the technicals tell me where that is, right? So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. The other headline that I just love it, is Tommy Lee sticking to his $15,000 price tag for Bitcoin by the end of the year. I love it because for me, if one day I will have the resources in the studio to roll the tape, and we will go right to the Monty Python, and the guy on the cart saying, "I'm not dead yet." Well, you're sort of dead. No, I'm not. I'm not dead yet. For him to claim that 15,000 is still in the cards for this year, it's just pretty ballsy. I don't know. And he's got a couple of headwinds in the news today. First of all, the market price discovery is brutal and terrible. So for me to think that we could spring there is very unlikely, and all the work that I've ever done on markets looks pretty like a pretty long shot of a bet. But he's got a couple other things that he's going to be fighting against, or the price of Bitcoin is going to fight against. All right, and one of them is a headline talking about how many crypto hedge funds are shutting down here in the fourth quarter. They're shutting down because they're so under their high watermark or low watermark or any watermark, they're drowning. And you cannot tell me that any of these hedge funds don't have a large proportion of their funds in Bitcoin. Now, if the hedge fund is closing and they need to sell their assets and give fiat money back to investors, they're selling more Bitcoin. There's just another big seller coming, and it's all the hedge funds that are shutting down. And the other headline today, New York Stock Exchange holding off on Bitcoin futures till 2019. And I honestly think that they do not want to, open Bitcoin futures and have an even larger short bet put on that, who knows, what if it went to 15,000? What if Tommy Lee is right? And they open up their futures and a big short bet comes in, and then it goes to 15,000 overnight in a leveraged, hyper-leveraged situation like commodity futures usually are. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Price action still negative here for sure. Trying to claw a little bit here. I am so on the sidelines. You cannot believe it. I have orders in and melt down levels. And I'm going to talk about those in the vitals. So let's do that. I got to say goodbye to the YouTube crowd, because for actionable trading information, you need to be an Endotech subscriber and watch this on endotech.io, where you don't get interrupted and nobody tells you goodbye at endotech.io. We just keep firing on the segment. And so let's take the vitals and see you later, YouTube.